How's it going, everyone? It's Javi from Switch1000. Today is November 18th, 2020, and today we're going to take a look at two tropical disturbances which have a chance of developing over the next 5 days. A low chance, but still something to watch in the Atlantic, and we don't want to underestimate the 2020 hurricane season since we've already seen how many storms this hurricane season has produced. So we are going to take a look at these two disturbances as well as what's going on in the US. So let's begin by first talking about the remnants of Iota, which made landfall only pretty much within 10 miles of where Hurricane Eta, Category 4 Hurricane Eta, made landfall in Nicaragua. So unfortunately, it made landfall at pretty much the exact same area as Hurricane Eta 2 weeks prior, which just caused a ton of devastation in Nicaragua. Showing some of the pictures, you see that there's just a ton of houses destroyed, just a ton of damage everywhere, and it just looks like a whole it looks like a whole disaster. It looks as thousands of people are homeless in Nicaragua, and all my thoughts, all my hearts go towards Nicaragua during this time, and I hope everything goes well over there. But as for the remnants of Iota, we're seeing that its maximum sustained winds at 30 miles per hour. It pretty much died as it moved over the Central America countries such as Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador. However, it does have a chance of re-strengthening as it goes off the coast of El Salvador back into the Pacific. Thankfully, though, it won't be much of a threat to land. However, there is that slight chance that it does re-strengthen, maybe into a tropical storm or maybe even into a hurricane. So you might need to watch out for that, especially along the western Pacific coast. If you're maybe into surfing, this might be a good time to surf off the west coast of Mexico and El Salvador. However, not much of a direct threat to land at all. So that's definitely good news, since the last thing Central America needs at this point, after receiving nearly 30 inches of rainfall, is another hurricane. So that's good that Iota is moving offshore and will no longer be a threat for the already disaster-stricken Nicaragua or the other Central America countries. So let's take a look at the other tropical disturbances we have to watch. So there's Tropical Disturbance 1, which only has a 10% chance of formation. Yesterday, or it might have been 2 days ago, that chance was at 40%, but the chance has lowered since, and based off of the National Weather Service or the National Hurricane Center observation and description of this disturbance, it states that the surface observations and visible satellite imagery indicate that a broad area of low pressure has formed over southwestern Caribbean Sea and is producing an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Development, if any, of this system is expected to slow to occur during the next several days while it drifts west-southwestward or westward across the southwestern Caribbean Sea. Regardless of tropical cyclone formation, areas of heavy rain are possible during the next several days from Nicaragua southward across Central America and Colombia. And this is a huge worry because this area already dealt with a ton of rain from Hurricane Eta and Hurricane Iota as it made landfall in Nicaragua, both within the same area at a Category 4. So to have even more rain on top of that, that's just gonna make things worse than it already is in a lot of these Central America countries. So make sure to prepare, stay away from those rivers definitely, because I'm sure they're high at this point from these two hurricanes. And do not underestimate this rain, because even though this won't really develop into much of anything, most likely it could still dump a lot of rain, and you definitely need to watch out for that along Central America regions over the next several days. However, this has a low percent chance of formation, which is definitely good news, as there's only really a 10% chance of development, which is pretty much almost no chance of development. The reason why I mainly believe the reason why this has little chance of developing is because it's gonna be sort of entrained within this gyre that's typical over Central America countries where we see a lot gyre form around this region, and I just think that gyre is gonna make the thunderstorm activity very broad in this area, and then and then and then before and it won't really have enough time over water to develop a defined area of low pressure since the gyre is producing so many thunderstorms around this region. It's really hard for a defined area of low pressure to develop since there's just a lot of convection and a lot of thunderstorms competing to get the lower pressure, and that pretty much spaces out the air molecules from really focusing in one area, and as a result the low pressures usually have a difficult time forming in these gyres. And we could see that if we take a look at the radar, the not 24-hour accumulated precipitation. If we take a look at the future radar for the GFS, you see that there's going to be a lot of rain over Central America as a result of this little gyre that's forming over the region, and it's going to be really difficult for an area of low pressure to focus as a result, and it won't really have a lot of time over water to form into anything more than just a low pressure system. So that's definitely good news. You do not want to see that. Now for the next storm, which does have a slightly higher percent chance of developing, it is also low, and the good news is that this won't likely affect any land besides Bermuda, which could be within the track of this. But even then, if this does form, I don't expect it to be anything major. I don't expect it to be anything strong because at this point it's more likely that maybe a low pressure develops here, but it will be involved with a extra tropical cyclone that's going to move through the United States within around a week from now. So it won't really be an independent sort of tropical cyclone where the strongest winds will be within the eye or the center of circulation. As if this does form, it will likely be a subtropical type of tropical cyclone. As the National Hurricane Center describes, the system could gradually develop its subtropical characteristics. So it's unlikely that this will be entirely tropical, as it will get some help from the jet stream and the dip of the cold front. So this won't really be anything major or tropical to worry about in Bermuda, and this has a low percent chance of really developing into anything tropical because it's likely that this will mainly be just be involved with a bigger extra tropical cyclone or trough that's going to move through the US, because this is as of 90 hours from now. You see a little bit of rain, you see a little bit of shower activity occurring in this region. However, again, there's just going to be a lot of dry air in this region, and since we're in the month of November, approaching December, there's obviously going to be a lot of shear with this. So conditions are just going to be very unfavorable for any type of storm to develop within the near future. However, it might have a chance as this trough moves through the US where it could gather some instability from this trough to maybe develop into a subtropical storm, but it's unlikely to happen at this point. And if it does, I don't expect any major impacts to be expected from this. So that's definitely good news. But outside of that, the good news is we don't have anything to worry about, which is great, because during this hurricane season, it feels like literally every week or every day we have a new storm to worry about. But for now, and maybe permanently, because we're approaching the end of the hurricane season, and hopefully permanently, this will be the end of chaotic and wild 2020 hurricane season. So which would end it at 30 storms, which is quite chaotic and still beat the record as the most active hurricane season of all time, which we definitely don't want to add on to that record for the rest of the year, which is definitely which I'm definitely hoping for. I don't want to see any more disasters within the coast, and that's definitely good news. We're not seeing anything, and hopefully it stays like that till pretty much forever, but obviously that's never going to happen. But hopefully it stays like that till 2021. We won't see any other tropical cyclones form, so that's definitely good news. Now, in terms of what's happening in the US for this week, we do have some snow showers occurring in the Northwest Pacific, and we have a lot of rain showers and through Washington, Oregon, the northern coast of California that you guys need to worry about. And in the higher elevations, you will experience a decent amount of snow. If you take a look at the 24-hour snowfall forecast that's from the GFS, you see that we could see potentially up to a foot of snow in the extremely higher elevations of the Cascades and into Idaho and along the Rocky Mountain Range and right around Yellowstone National Park. So it might be a good time for skiing. And you see that snow will spread down to Colorado to the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, and then we will see that next wave of troughs come in within the 4 to 5 day time frame. If we take a look at the Futurecast radar for the GFS, let me put snowfall so we could see what's snow and what isn't. So if we take a look, so this has 6 hours, and then moving forward, we see the snow continue 30 hours from now. So this will be an all-day event for the higher elevations of the Northwest Pacific. And then you see that in hour 54, it's quiet for most of the U.S. We might see isolated showers just north of the Ohio River Valley, and maybe some snow due to the approaching trough that's going to come in later during the week within about 2 days from now, and maybe a trough moving through the northern Midwest region. But for the most part, it's quiet, and the reason why is because the jet stream is pretty much has straightened out, and when that happens, that means that there isn't a lot of instability or unstable air to create these troughs, to create these potent storms. So when the jet stream straightens out, pretty much the temperatures gradually get warmer as you go south, and gradually get colder as you go north. And what that means is that there's just not a lot of instability. We don't see a cold air parcel move into a much warmer air parcel to where it could create something. So since the jet stream straightened out, the weather will be quite quiet over the next 2 to 3 days. However, eventually we will see this ridge move towards the Great Lakes region, bring a northern wind to the Midwest, and that's when we might see a little bit of instability occur, just enough to where you might see showers right around the Ohio River Valley. And however, it isn't much of a heavy rain threat. It will be mainly showers. So going around 4 days from now, that rain shower band continues to move towards the northeast and continues to extend, and maybe some snow in the northern portion of Maine. So watch out for that if you're right around Caribou. And then going into 5 days from now, we see another trough move in, and this trough will be something to watch beyond 5 days, because when we see a lot of troughs coming from the Northwest Pacific, it's unpredictable what they can do. So we need to continue to watch, continue to stay updated, and watch my videos if you want to continue to stay updated on this over the next several days. However, for the near future, expect a lot of snow in the higher elevations of the Cascades, the Rocky Mountains, right around Idaho and Wyoming and Montana. And then for the most part, should be quiet, and you will experience mainly average temperatures all throughout the U.S. before around the 3 to 4 day time frame. We will see a rain band extend throughout the Ohio River Valley, extending in the northeast, and then we will see another storm to watch heading into 5 to 7 days from now. So that's about it for this weather analysis. I thank you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe if you like this content, and make sure to like if you like this video. And I hope you guys have a good day, good night, whenever you guys are watching this.